Hello everyone, this is Marco and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'd like to talk about the brand new Jurassic Park survival game. We haven't heard about it for quite a while now. This project was revealed a few years ago now, and its release date keeps being pushed back. So there's been delay after delay for multiple reasons. I'm not here to talk about that really. There's plenty of other YouTubers that go in depth with what has been going on with this project, so I recommend you go and watch those. So the main gist of this project is a Jurassic Park inspired video game that takes place during or just after the events of the first Jurassic Park movie. So it's set in 1993 and we get to see all of our beloved dinosaurs again in a game that throws us back into the environment of Jurassic Park. It's very, very exciting. It's not every day we get a Jurassic Park inspired game that isn't a park builder. So this has got very, very many fans very intrigued and excited. And today, as of about an hour ago, they released a Jurassic Park Survival behind the scenes featurette that shows us a bit more about the project. And there's a couple of things I would love to talk about, which are aspects of the game that I think need to be talked about. So let's strap in and let's have a quick look. First thing we're greeted with is this beautiful rendition of the Jurassic Park Visitor Center. I love how moody it is. It's rainy, it's stormy, it looks stunning. And a voiceover starts by one of the franchise managers at Universal, saying that this is the opportunity for the players and the fans to re-enter into Jurassic Park. It's something the fans have been wanting, something that we've waited over 30 years to be able to do. I guess that's not counting the Frontier Welcome to Jurassic Park DLC or whatever it's called, but this is very different. This is a first-person experience. In the meantime, there's some beautiful pre-rendered footage, like Gallimimus running away from T-Rex with a Ford Explorer right there. It's all stuff that we've seen before. And then we have some more pictures here and there of the gates and of the wrecks. Then we have the Senior Director of Universal Products and Experience talk about the game. She says it's set a day after the events of Jurassic Park. You play as Maya Joshi, who is an InGen scientist. It's your job to survive the island, she says. Finally, a Jurassic Park game about surviving the dinosaurs. Something a bit like Trespasser. This is something the fans have wanted for so long, and finally something like this is happening. It's brilliant. And then another employee says that we'll be able to explore Jurassic Park on Elanuba, which sounds really, really exciting. I think the only other official games that we got that kind of got close were the Jurassic World Lego games, which were incredible. I really, really enjoyed playing those. Get to see all the environments and all that, interact with everything. But of course, it's all stylized. It would be awesome to finally get a realistic looking one that is actually scary too. Also notice how I said official. There's been plenty of fan projects, video games where you get to explore Elanuba and stuff like that. Like Jurassic Dream, that's one of them, and Jurassic Park Aftermath I think as well. But we'll talk more about those later. In the meantime, we have pre-alpha footage. And then we have the creative director of Saber Interactive talk too. He says that taking on a project like this is a huge responsibility. So they're aware of how big this project is. He says that the film stands out as a landmark moment in cinema. And then we have a project executive for Jurassic World. She says it's really exciting to translate the incredible film into a game, having the opportunity to go much deeper into the film. She says we've worked really closely with our partners and with Amblin and our filmmakers to make sure to capture the island and all the dinosaurs in really great detail. And then we have another executive producer for Universal Products Experience saying that they looked at every possible resource from the archives, from the Universal archives of the film, from production stills, blueprints, to make sure everything is just right. And then we have a section dedicated to the dinosaur designs. They say they thought Saber would be the right developer to tackle this project because of their affinity with the IP. I'm not quite sure what that means because I don't think Saber's ever done anything Jurassic before. Just to make sure, my lovely girlfriend went through a list of every single game developed by Saber Interactive. And there is no Jurassic game anywhere except for this new one. The closest thing there is a Turok game that is still in development, so I don't know what they're talking about. Maybe they're just hoping no one would question this statement, but it's still a very odd thing to to say. They say that they've really leaned into creating fantastic looking dinosaurs that are inspired by the first Jurassic Park film. And this part was said by the CEO of Saber Interactive himself. And if you're a fan and you've listened to the words that they've said and you look on screen, it doesn't really match up, does it? Because the dinosaur they chose to show while explaining that was the Tyrannosaurus. And if you got a keen eye, you can instantly tell that that is a Jurassic World Tyrannosaurus, not a Jurassic Park T-Rex. I was quite worried with the first images that they showed about the project, because when they showed off some dinosaur designs, they literally had Velociraptor Blue as the raptor models for the Jurassic Park raptors. These are supposed to be the same exact raptors in the first Jurassic Park film, and Blue the Velociraptor looks very different, but I just assumed that was a placeholder. When those pictures released, it was still in very early development, so I gave them the benefit of the doubt. I just sincerely really hope that they go ahead and change the raptor designs at the very least to make them accurate to the first film. I mean, Frontier did it with no problems at all. That being said, there is a picture of a raptor in this video, but it's not very well lit and you can't really see the details. One difference I can already notice is that it doesn't have the hip bone that the Jurassic Park raptors have. So there's still a chance that this might be a Jurassic World raptor right there. However, Universal has been going in and removing the hip bones from the raptors, especially on the Jurassic World ones, for a reason. And that is because they deem them to be unsightly or suggestive. So this might very well be a Jurassic Park inspired raptor minus the hip bone. I'm calling it hip bone because if I used its actual scientific term, I might get demonetized. But again, I don't have high hopes because back when they released the pictures of Blue the Velociraptor in the game, they also released pictures of the T-Rex, and that was a Jurassic World T-Rex. And it still is right now, after they said that they paid attention to the designs and stuff. So, fingers crossed they actually do change at least the raptors. I know there'll be plenty of people out there that will try and mod the game to make it look accurate, but we shouldn't have to do that. They could easily use Frontier's models for the game, the actual Jurassic Park looking ones, because at the end of the day, they are Universal's property, so I don't see how they couldn't have done that. It's probably either due to some legal crap that we're not supposed to know about, or other internal reasons. I'd like to let you guys know that I actually did try and get in contact with Saber Interactive about a year or so ago. I sent them an email offering my services free of charge as a dinosaur design advisor. I made sure to be as professional and polite as I could possibly be. I presented all of my credentials and qualifications. I have a degree in character design. I have experience in the film industry. I've signed plenty of NDAs before, so I'm not just a random Jurassic fan from the internet. I actually have some experience. And I'll try and be a little bit modest here, but I would like to think that I've got an alright grasp about the dinosaur designs in the Jurassic series. I also told them about my part in the dinosaur and Jurassic community with the style guides and all of that, but I never got a response. I never got a reply from them. I'll be honest, I never really expected one. That's usually the case with things like this, but hey, at least I tried. I'm not butthurt about it at all, because I know how these things work. But I know I'm not the only one that cares about this stuff. Amongst all the messages you send me about how unhappy you were with these dinosaur designs, I also came across a comment on the video that Saber Interactive shared. From someone that actually worked for ILM and Amblin, they're actually offering their services too. So there's fans and professionals who really do value all the designs from the original Jurassic Park film, and I really think Saber Interactive should really reconsider all these aspects. But I will cling on to a tiny little bit of hope because they did design a Dilophosaurus that somewhat resembles the Jurassic Park 1 Dilophosaurus. It's not a Jurassic World or Jurassic World Dominion Dilophosaurus. They actually made one themselves based on the first film. It's not perfect, but I'd much rather have something like this than just a Jurassic World model. So if you two are a fan and actually care about the Jurassic Park designs, make your voice heard. Let's carry on with the next parts of the video. So we get some actual nice pictures and footage of the Dilophosaurus, but then again they stress that it's very important to get the dinosaur designs right and accurate to the first film, And they show the Jurassic World T-Rex again. I really don't know what's going on here. So that was about the dinosaurs. Next, we get a section dedicated to exploring Elanuba, which sounds incredibly exciting. And in the background, we can hear some lovely John Williams Jurassic Park 1 soundtrack score. It sounds wonderful. And they say that not only will be able to re-experience all the locations present in the film, but they're also expanding onto that. Really looking deep into the lore and adding parts that were planned for the park, but we didn't actually get to see in the film, which is super exciting, and it really does remind me a lot of that Jurassic Dream project. It also reminds me of Jurassic Park the game by Telltale, but that was a point and click adventure pretty much, so being in it first person is going to be extremely special. They're listing new attractions under constructions, new facilities, and also the hotel. And as a designer, I'm finding this really exciting and really intriguing to see how they translate all of that on screen into a game, to see if they carry on the same sort of design language from the film. Honestly, this type of world building is really, really exciting. They say it's a narrative, adventure-driven game, and it builds up upon what the film was all about, expanding it and just delivering an experience that is familiar but new at the same time. And then they bring up the raptors, and they say that they really wanted to make you feel the tension by pretty much recreating the whole kitchen scene, which is understandable. It's really cool that we'll be able to experience that, but I really hope they'll add something extra to that. I really hope it's not going to be a cheap or tacky feeling carbon copy of what we saw in the film. What's interesting about this segment in the video is that they could have shown us footage or pictures of the raptors in the game, but they didn't. They showed us the environment from the game and some clips from the movie, but no pictures of raptors. So I really hope that this is a sign that the raptor designs are still being worked on and improved and actually match what we see in the first film. Please! I really can't express enough how vital it is for character design to be right in a project like this. So they said that and other bits in the game are supposed to make you feel the same way that the original characters did in the first film, but really immerse this time because this is a first-person game. Again, I really hope that it's not going to be a rehash of everything that we see in the first film, but considering they've been adding so many new environments, I think we're going to get some really cool new stuff too. And I'm really intrigued with what they're going to do. There's so much potential. We could probably see some brand new dinosaurs too, that we know were in the works, like Metriacanthosaurus, or even Baryonyx, my favorite dinosaur. Please, that would be awesome. And then we have a section introducing Dr. Maya Joshi, the character that we'll be playing as in the game. They say that the characters in the first film were indelible, and that's the kind of bar that they're trying to shoot to with Maya Joshi. And then they have the actress herself, Payal Mistry, I hope I pronounced that right, talk about her character. She says that her character was personally recruited by Dr. Henry Wu to become an InGen scientist. She says that the game starts with her being unable to escape from Elanuba. Because again, this happens the day after the events of the first film, so everyone left. She's there by herself. And she goes on about how inspired she feels and how honored she is to play this character and all of that sort of stuff. And then the video pretty much ends with the whole team looking at some props and saying, yeah, we put loads of effort into this and we really care about all of that. And yeah, just saying that it's a very important project for them and that they're taking their time for them to do it justice, which is their way of acknowledging that the project's been delayed quite a few times. And they conclude by thanking the fans because without us, there would be no Jurassic Park survival. And that's pretty much it. And I hope that with what they said at the end, thanking the fans, that they actually listened to our critiques as well. I did mention earlier some fan projects like Jurassic Park Aftermath, Jurassic Park Operations, Jurassic Dream, those sort of stuff. They were a labor of love made by some fans. And unfortunately, Universal took those projects down so they can then create Jurassic Park Survival, which is understandable because it is an IP violation. But if I have to be completely honest, they had something special going on. And the dinosaur designs look more accurate than what we saw with this new footage by Saber Interactive. I believe if Universal decides to shut down projects like these, it's probably in their best interest to hire these people that were working on these fan projects. And these really creative fans have demonstrated to be very good at what they do and that they have heart and love the project. Something that is missing so much from this corporate world, no matter how much they try and convince us. I'm gonna keep clinging on to that little bit of hope. Let's make our voices heard and be very hopeful for the future. This game is shaping up to be something incredibly special. All it really needs now is some dinosaur designs that actually match their on-screen counterparts. And that really isn't too much to ask at all. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Thank you so very much for watching and stay safe.